Hi and welcome back. So we are going to now work on our Kotlin file. So we're going to work on our main activity first. So our main activity, we know the XML part is the login. So we want to write the code for logging in. So we are going to start by creating a variable, Firebase variable for authentication. So you can just come in and easily say var, then you say mauth, or you can say var mauth, yeah, better, equals to, then we'll say Firebase. So we say Firebase authentication. So we say Firebase auth dot, then we do the get instance. Then after that, we can now come to our action here. So the first part, so when we go to our resources and we go to our layout and we get the first one, main activity, then the first thing we want to ensure that is done, when you click no account, then you can say sign up here. So we can say call this, give this ID, we can just say TV, then we say move to sign up. So the text view just moves you to the sign up page. So that's the ID we are going to use. So we can just come to our ID, then we can give it TV move to sign up. So you can so you just have your ID there, TV move to sign up. So when we come to our main activity, we ensure that we create that. So we can say TV move to sign up, then we say dot, we call our set on click listener. So you just say set on click listener. Then after we set our on click listener, we're just going to say when you click here, we're just going to do an intent. So you can just come in and call an intent. So we call our intent. So we'll just easily come and say val intent equals to, then we can say intent, and then we pass the application context. So you can say application context or this activity, then we want to move it to sign up activity, then we say class dot java. So we have that, and then we'll just simply come and start activity. So we can just say start activity, and then we have our intent. So we move from one page to another. So when you click this text view, you move from sign up to the next activity. Then the next thing we want to ensure is that when you click on login, it actually logs you into the system. So we'll just come here and then we go to our button directly. So you can just place our button here. So we can come and say btn. So we have btn login. So you can say btn login dot set on click listener. So when you set the on click listener, it needs to log you in. So what we'll do, we'll just create a function called login. So we'll just come in, create a function here called login, and we are now going to put our function login just out here. So we can just come easily, just write here and call private, then we say function, then login, then have that, and we can now proceed. So our function is login. So the first thing, so you can see this one is inside the onCreate class. This one should be inside the onCreate, but the function just be outside. So now our function login is there. So what we can simply come and do, we come and fetch the email and the password. So it will be quite easy. So we can say val email. So we pick our email, then we can say email will be et. So our edit text email, then we say dot, we get text, so we'll just say text, then we'll say dot to string, then we'll say val, so we pick email and password, so we'll say val password equals to, then we pick our edit text, so et password dot text, then we'll say dot to string. So the variables email and password will pick for us the email and password. So now the first thing we'll do now is, when you press login, we need to check if you've placed if that place is empty or it has a value. So you can now easily come and say, so we'll just come and say here now, if, then we'll say so if our email is empty, then, and we'll say, and also, sorry, it has to be inside the if statement, and our password, not password dot is empty. So so with this we know we have negated it, yeah. So this says if it's not empty. So if not so this is if email is empty, then you negate it. So it's just like if it's not empty and password is not empty, then now we can authorize. Else, so we are just going to come and authorize it later, then you can say else. So you can say else, and you can just come and do a simple toast dot make text, then you can say the activity, the context is this, then you can say toast dot make text, then you can say this, the you can say error, say please fill in credentials. So it cannot be empty, and then we do our toast dot, then you can do a length long, then you do a dot show. So you have that. So if it's empty, it will tell you error, please fill in the credentials. If it's not empty, then we can proceed. So you can just say this, then you say dot mauth, then you can say dot now sign in with email and password. So you will sign in with email and password. So this is a function that is there. So what is the email and the password? You'll pick the email just at the top there and the password. So sign in with email and password, and then we'll now come and say dot add on complete listener, then we pass this, then you can say comma, then you can say on complete listener So you can say on complete listener. So you can say on, so you say this, you just come here, then you say on complete. So let's check it here. It's not picking on complete listener. So it should be right here. Let's go to our tools. So we'll just type on complete listener, then we do an alt enter. So we'll do on complete listener, then we'll say, so we can now come and do on complete. So let's so it's this one, on complete listener. Then you can say auth result. Then we can do that. So on complete listener, then we say auth result. So for the task, we'll just come and pass task, and it will be right there. So the thing with this code is usually already given to us in Firebase, so you don't always have to just type everything. So I'll just show you how you can easily go get this code and place it there. So we can easily go to Google. So you go to Google. So you have come to Google, then you just type Firebase authentication, and then you say Kotlin. You can just search for that, then you can see Authenticate Firebase google.com. so you just click on that, Google, the first one. So you go to Authenticate, then you can now come easily and search here. So you can come in and say password authentication. So you just pick password authentication, then you can now easily come and see all the code is here. So you can see here we have which has been created for us here. You have the Java code, then you also have the Kotlin code. So you can just easily come and pick the authentication here. We could have used the one in our app here, but its version is in Java, so you can just easily go to our documentation and pick the one in Kotlin. So we'll go to the sign. So here, so that one is a sign up. So for the login is just right here. So you can say auth sign in. So we'll pick this and just edit out the log.d and simply use a toast. So you can easily come. So you'll pick that. So you can come and just pick that. Sign in with email and password. So that's where we are at. So you can just come here. So you can do that. So we have that there. But sign in success, so you can remove that. So then also we have there, you can remove that. So if sign in fails, so you can easily see that So for us it's going to be m auth. So you can say this.mauth.sign in with email and password, and then you add on complete listener, and then you get the task. So if task is successful, so you can easily come and say there, if task is successful, then we can now do a toast. So if task is successful, you can come and say toast dot make text. So we have our toast here, we don't have to repeat everything, so you can just come and say toast dot make text, and then you can say if task is successful, you can say congratulations. You can say congratulations. So you can just say successfully signed in. Then you do a toast dot length long and show. And then once you have logged in, we have to at least do an intent to move you from this activity then to the next activity. So you can now come and say now start activity. So you can do start activity, then we can do our intent in here. So we call our intent, and then where do we want to move from? We want to move from this activity to home activity. So dot, it's dot class. So we have home activity, then we have class dot java. So once your auth is successful, you can say toast dot make text, and then you can say successfully signed in. Then you move from if it is successful. Else if it fails, then we can do a toast if you are not logged in. So either you place a wrong password or anything, we can do a toast there, and then we'll say error. Then you can say error login in. So you can say so I'll now just go through the code again. So you'll say so we've picked the emote, the sign in, just from our documentation. Then you can say if task is successful, it's successfully signed in, and it moves you to the home activity. Else if it's not signed in, it moves you to the wrong in the other activity. The other one which is completely outside now, so we have that. So you have to also be keen. So if it's not empty, as in if it's empty, then now you know that you have not filled up the credentials, like if you've left an empty space. So that is what happened. So that's where we are at. So we have, so the next one is we are going to go, so the code for login is simply that. So the code for sign up, you're going to place it inside the sign up activity. So you go to the sign up activity. So once we are in the sign up activity, then we can now easily come and say, when you place the sign up, you're going to do exactly the same thing as we did. You authenticate using Firebase. So we can just come and say var, then we'll say m auth equals to, then we'll say Firebase say Firebase. So we'll say Firebase authentication dot get instance. Then now we can come and put our button here. So for the sign up activity, we already have an account. You can now log in, so you can just go to tv.move to. So it should, when we look at our activity main, so this is move to sign up. Then for the sign up, this should be TV move to, let's say move to login. So we move to login, so that so we'll just come here, TV move to login. So we go to our sign up activity, then we'll say TV move to login dot, then we do a set on click listener, and then now we can easily, so we do set on click listener. Then now we can easily come and say we can create a simple val. So we can just say val intent, then equals to, then we come and call on intent. Then we want to move from this activity to which activity? We want to move from this activity to the login activity. So login activity is in our main activity. Then we say class dot java, then we can do a start activity, then we pass our intent. So that's it. Then now the next part is simply coming to so when you press the button sign up, it should register you. So you'll just come and do btn sign up dot, then you say set on click listener. Then we can just do a simple register. So we'll create, so let's give it some at least. So we'll say register. Then we are going now to create this function register here, where we are going to say how to pick the values and pass them. So we can simply come and say now, so for our sign up activity, we have name, email and password. So we are going to pick those two in our register. So we come and say function, so you can call private function, then we say register. Then we have that. Then we can now start by picking our email, our password and our name. So we can start by saying val, say email. So to pick email is going to be et dot text, then dot to string. So it will hold for us the email. Then we'll say val, then we say password, equals to, then we'll pick it using etsp password, then we say dot text, then we say dot to string, and lastly we'll say val name. So we pick val name, then we can say equals to, then it will be etsp name dot, then we can say text, then dot to string. Then now we can now go to pick the code to check if it's empty. Then we pick the code for creating the user. So we'll just say if, so we'll say if, then we'll say our email. So we say if our email, then we say dot is empty. So if that is empty and not password dot is empty, and lastly not name dot is empty. So if they are not empty, then we are going to we are going to do the simple authentication. But if they are empty, so we'll say that if it's empty, else we can now say do a toast. So we can say toast dot make text, then we can pass the context, which is just this, and then we come and say value cannot be empty. So you can just say values cannot be empty. So values cannot be empty. Then we can do a toast dot length long, and then you do a dot show. So if they are empty, it will do that. If they are not empty, then what do? We'll simply come and now create the user. So it's going to be quite easy. So you can just go to our, so you can say password authentication in our documents, Firebase documents, authentication documents. Then we can say for create, so this one is the one we pick, create a new account by passing the user's email and password. So you'll just say authenticate dot create user with email and password, then it will just be that. So you can copy that. So we'll just do a simple copy. Then so if it's not empty, what do? We do the create user. So we'll just do a Control V, place our code there. So for us it's going to be auth.create user. So sign in success, what we'll do, we'll do, and that we can remove that. So if it's successful, it will take us back to the login page so that you can log in, and if sign in fails, then it should say there is an error. So you have that. So for sign in success, what do? We'll just come in and say start activity. Then where do we want to move you? We want to move you to the login page so that you can log in. So you'll just say intent. So we'll just pass our intent right here, and then we'll say from this activity, then we want to move you to the login activity. So main activity, then class dot Java. So you move you from that to there, and then we can tell you a toast and say dot. So we can just pick this toast and edit it out. You don't have to just type the whole thing. So you can pick this toast, and once you've signed in successfully, you can say sign up was a success. So your sign up becomes successful. If it's not successful, then what do we do? We'll just, if signing fails, we'll just do a toast and say error sign name user. So here you can because for Firebase the password must be must be more than 6 characters, so you have to ensure that you've placed your password correctly and a correct email address. Then now it will be able to sign up. So then that is it. So that's it for them. So you'll create user with email and password, and then you pass their email and password, and it will create that user for you. So later on we're going to see how you can store the name into the database and all that into the real-time database. So that one we have sorted it out. Now we proceed. So now that we have finished creating the sign up and the login, and we finished writing the codes, we are just going to do the logout, which is quite easy. In the home activity is going to be quite easy because it's just a simple sign out button. So we are going to come here. So our home activity, we know how it is. We come to our activity home. So when you click the button, so when you log in, to tell you welcome, you have logged in, but when you click button sign out, it should remove you from the page. So you can just come to your home activity, then we create an on-click listener for that button. So we'll create an on-click listener, so we'll just say btn sign out, then we do dot set on-click listener. So what do we want it to do? We want it to sign out. So we will create a method there, sign out. Then we can now come and easily say private, then we say function, then we say sign out. So we have that function, and it's going to be quite easy. So to sign out, we want it to move you from that page and then apply the sign out method. So it's quite easy. So we can just come and call our val intent, then we can say equals to, venye tunafanyanga to intent, then you pass, you are moving from this activity and you are moving back to the main activity class.java. Then we can do a start activity, then you pass the intent. So you can always opt to place all this inside with the tuna place, or you can choose to do it differently. Working with variables makes it easier, so that in case of any problem, you know where the problem is. So you'll say var intent. So let's see what's also sign out needs, it's a function. Yeah. Then now we are going to do the Firebase sign out, which is simple. So you just say Firebase auth dot get instance dot sign out. So it's quite an easy method just to help you sign out. So that's it. So now your app is ready to trial. Ensure that Firebase is set, all the code is set, and the main activity, sign up activity, are well set. So you can also go check this code on GitHub if you have any trouble, and see where you might have missed a page. So thank you, and I hope that this works, and you ensure that you send in your screenshots. So goodbye, and I'll see you in the next application.